Have you ever stopped to savor the little joys in life, like the warmth of your morning coffee or the sound of birds outside your window? Those tiny moments are what keep us young at heart, no matter how many years we've lived. Aging doesn't have to mean slowing down or fading away. It's a chance to thrive, grow, and live your best life yet. I'm so excited to share some simple habits with you today that can help you stay youthful, vibrant, and full of energy as you enjoy your golden years here in America. Before we dive in, I'd be incredibly grateful if you'd give this video a thumbs up. It helps me spread these valuable lessons to more wonderful folks like you. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a tip. And hey, if you enjoy what you hear, drop a 1 in the comments below. If it's not your cup of tea, just leave a 0, so I can make the next one even better for you. Alright, let's get started. You know, one of the most amazing things you can do as you age is to keep learning new skills. Take my friend Margaret, a 72-year-old from sunny California. She's not the type to sit still. Oh no! A few years back, she decided to tackle something she'd never tried before, painting. At first, she was nervous, thinking, what if I'm no good at this? But she grabbed a brush, some watercolors, and joined a local art class in San Diego. Now, she's got a whole collection of landscapes hanging in her home, and she's even started selling them at the farmer's market. It's not just about the paintings, though. It's about how alive she feels every time she learns something new. That's the magic of keeping your mind curious. And it doesn't have to be painting for you. Maybe you've been eyeing that smartphone of yours, wondering how to use it beyond just calling your grandkids. Why not learn to video chat with them? Or hop onto YouTube, yes, like this channel, and explore tutorials on gardening or cooking? There's a whole world out there waiting for you to dive into. I heard about a gentleman named Tom from Texas, 78 years young, who taught himself how to play the harmonica using free online videos. Now he's the star of his community center's talent night. Learning keeps your brain buzzing, and studies even say it can help keep memory sharp as you go. Plus, it's a great way to meet folks, whether it's an online group or a class down at the library. Think about it. What's something you've always wanted to try? Maybe it's knitting a scarf for winter, picking up a ukulele, or even writing down those family stories you've been telling for years. It's not about being perfect, it's about the joy of discovery. When Margaret first started painting, she laughed at her wobbly lines, but she kept going. And Tom? His first harmonica notes sounded like a cat in distress, but he stuck with it. That's the spirit. Every new skill you pick up is like a little gift to yourself, a boost of confidence and a reminder that you're never too old to grow. It keeps you connected too. Imagine swapping tips with a neighbor over coffee or joining a crafting circle. So go on, give it a whirl. You've got nothing to lose and a whole lot of fun to gain. Taking care of your health is another big piece of staying youthful, and I don't just mean popping pills or avoiding the doctor. It's about enjoying the process. Let me tell you about Dorothy, a spry 75-year-old from Florida. She started walking every morning along the beach near her home in Miami, not because someone told her to, but because she loved the feel of the sand under her feet and the sound of the waves. It wasn't long before she noticed she had more pep in her step, and soon she was adding yoga classes to her week. She says it's not a chore, it's her time to feel good. That's the key, finding what works for you and making it fun. You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment to stay active. A stroll around your neighborhood in the crisp American air does wonders, keeps your heart happy and your mind clear. Or maybe you're like my Uncle Joe from Ohio, who's 80 and still loves a good bike ride through the park. He says it's like being a kid again. And it's not just about moving, it's what you eat too. Dorothy swears by her veggie pack smoothies, and Joe's a fan of grilling lean chicken with herbs from his garden. It's all about fueling yourself with good stuff that makes you feel light and lively. But health isn't just physical, it's your spirit, too. Dorothy found that sitting with a cup of tea and a puzzle keeps her mind sharp, while Joe loves chatting with his buddies at the senior center. Maybe for you, it's tending to your roses or trying a meditation app to unwind. The trick is to listen to your body and give it what it needs, whether that's a nap, a hearty salad, or a laugh with a friend. And when you hit a goal, like walking an extra block or mastering that yoga pose, celebrate it. You're not just staying healthy, you're living your best life, one happy step at a time. Having a strong circle of friends is like a secret weapon for staying young at heart. I've seen it with my neighbor Helen, a 70-year-old fireball from Colorado. She's always been the social butterfly, hosting potlucks in her Denver backyard or organizing bingo nights at the community hall. She says it's not just about the fun, though she loves a good laugh over a slice of pie. It's about feeling connected. And she's right. Studies show that folks with solid social ties tend to live longer, happier lives. Helen's got friends from her old teaching days, her church group, and even a few she met at a gardening club. That mix keeps her going strong. You don't need a packed calendar to make this work, just a few good people you can count on. Think about the last time you shared a coffee with a buddy or called up a cousin to catch up. Didn't it feel good? That's the magic of it. I heard about a guy named Frank from New York, 76, who started volunteering at a local animal shelter after his wife passed. He didn't expect it, but he ended up with a whole crew of pals, both the furry kind and the human kind. They swapped stories while walking the dogs, and Frank says it's pulled him out of some lonely days. It's proof that reaching out can lift you up in ways you don't even see coming. So, how do you build that circle? It's simpler than you think. Invite a neighbor over for tea, join a book club at the library, or sign up for a class, maybe that painting one we talked about earlier. Even little things, like chatting with the cashier at the grocery store, can spark something. Helen's bingo night started with just 3 friends, and now it's a dozen folks every week. And Frank? He didn't know a soul at that shelter, but now he's got plans every Saturday. It's not about how many, it's about the warmth they bring. Those connections keep your mind sharp, your spirits high, and your days full. Plus, having someone to lean on when life gets bumpy? That's priceless. Now, let's talk about embracing change, because life doesn't stand still, and neither should you. Take my old friend Clara, 73, from Oregon. She'd driven the same beat-up sedan for decades, but last year she traded it in for a shiny electric car. She was nervous at first, new gadgets, new rules, but now she zips around Portland with a grin, loving how quiet it is. She even figured out how to charge it at home. It's not just about the car, it's that she didn't let "I'm too old for this" stop her. Change can be your ticket to feeling alive, not stuck. Maybe for you, it's not a car but something else. Ever thought about texting your grandkids instead of just calling? Or trying out one of those meal kits that show up at your door? Clara also picked up a tablet and started video chatting with her daughter in Seattle. She says it's like having her in the room. Tech can feel tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's a game changer. And it's not all about gadgets. Maybe you've taken up a new hobby, like Clara did with crochet, or shifted how you see these years, focusing on what you can do instead of what's behind you. Change isn't always easy, but it's worth it. I remember a lady named Ruth from Michigan, 79, who moved into a smaller place after her husband passed. She was scared to leave her big house, but she turned that little apartment into a cozy haven, new curtains, a few plants, and a spot for her knitting. Now she loves it, and she's even made friends in the building. It's all about rolling with the punches and finding the good in what's next. Whether it's a new gadget, a new home, or a new way of thinking, you've got the power to make it yours, and that keeps you young, inside and out. You know what's a real game changer for staying youthful? A good laugh. I swear, it's like a magic potion, and my pal George from Arizona knows it well. He's 74, living out in Tucson, and he's got this knack for finding humor in everything. Last week, he told me about spilling coffee all over his shirt right before a doctor's appointment. He just chuckled, threw on a new one, and said, "Well, at least I'm awake now." That's George, always quick with a joke or a funny story from his days as a mail carrier. He's got his buddies at the coffee shop cracking up every morning, and it's no wonder they all look forward to seeing him. Humor isn't just for fun, it's good for you too. They say laughter can ease stress and even help your heart, and I believe it. George has this habit of sharing old tales, like the time he delivered a package to the wrong house and ended up with a plate of cookies as a thank you. He'll have you in stitches, and it's not just about the punchline, it's the way he lights up telling it. You can do this, too. Maybe it's a silly pun you drop at dinner or a memory that makes your grandkids giggle. I knew a lady named Betty from Georgia, 77, who'd tease her family with made-up news, just to see their faces, kept her young and kept them close. It's not always about being the life of the party, either. Sometimes it's laughing at life's little hiccups, like when you can't find your glasses and they're on your head. George says it's his secret to handling tough days, like when his knee acts up. He'll joke, "Guess I'm too fast for my own legs," and it lifts the mood. Betty used humor when she lost her husband. She'd say he was probably up there arguing with the Angels about baseball. That ability to smile through the rough stuff? It's gold. So, next time something goes sideways, try a chuckle. It'll keep your spirit light and your days bright. Now, let's chat about taking care of yourself, because you deserve to feel your best. My friend Louise, 71, from Minnesota, is a pro at this. She's got this skincare routine down pat. Every night, she's there with her moisturizer and a little face massage, saying it's her me time. She's not chasing some Hollywood look. She just loves how it makes her skin feel soft and her heart feel calm. And she's onto something. Taking care of your outside can lift your inside too. Louise even started using sunscreen after years of skipping it, and she swears her freckles thank her every day. But it's not just about your skin. Louise keeps her silver hair trimmed and neat. Sometimes she even tries a fun braid, just because. She says it's like telling the world, "I'm still here, and I'm fabulous." You can do that too, maybe a new haircut or keeping your nails tidy. I heard about a guy named Ed from Illinois, 80, who started growing a beard after decades clean-shaven. His daughter said he looked like Santa, and he loved it. It's those little touches that say you care about yourself, and that confidence shines through. Self-care goes deeper though. Louise unwinds with a warm bath and some lavender oil, says it's like a hug after a long day. Maybe for you, it's reading a mystery novel or pottering in the garden. Ed loves his woodworking, spends hours on a porch swing he's building. It's not selfish to carve out that time, it's fuel for your soul. When you feel good, you glow, and that's what aging gracefully is all about. So, treat yourself like the treasure you are. A little pampering, a little peace, it's your right, and it keeps you sparkling. Being a source of wisdom for the younger folks in your life is one of the coolest perks of getting older. My buddy Sam, 76, from North Carolina, is a walking treasure chest of life lessons. He's got this ritual. Every Sunday, he sits on his porch in Raleigh with his grandkids, sipping lemonade and spilling stories. Last time, he told them about the summer he built a tree house with his bare hands, back when tools were simpler and patience was key. The kids' eyes lit up, not just from the tale but from the way Sam ties it to advice, like how hard work pays off if you stick with it. He's not preaching, he's sharing, and they soak it up. You've got that wisdom, too. All those years of ups and downs have made you a goldmine. I met a woman named Grace from Nevada, 79, who started mentoring teens at her local library in Reno. She'd been a nurse for decades, so she'd tell them about staying calm under pressure, like the night she helped deliver a baby during a blackout. The kids didn't just learn skills, they learned grit from her quiet strength. You don't need a big stage to do this. Maybe it's a chat with your niece about handling a tough boss, or showing your son how you budget like a pro. Your life's a roadmap they can follow. It's not just what you say, it's how you live. Sam's grandkids watch him fix a leaky faucet with a grin, and they see problem-solving in action. Grace's teens noticed she never rushed, always listened, and they picked up patience without her saying a word. You're a living example, and that's powerful. Whether it's a family yarn over dinner or a quick tip to a neighbor's kid, you're planting seeds. Sam says it keeps him young too. Those fresh eyes remind him life's still an adventure. So don't hold back. Share what you know. You're shaping tomorrow, one story at a time. Now let's talk about celebrating life's little moments, because that's where the real joy hides. My friend Alice, 72, from Maine, has this gift for it. She lives in a cozy cottage near Portland, and every morning, she sits by her window with a cup of tea, watching the fog roll off the ocean. She says it's her favorite part of the day, not because it's grand, but because it's hers. She doesn't wait for birthdays or holidays to feel happy. She finds it in the crunch of leaves under her boots, or the smell of bread baking in her oven. It's like she's cracked the code to staying young, savoring the small stuff. You can do that too. Think about the last time you smiled at something simple, like your cat napping in a sunbeam, or a neighbor waving hello. I knew a guy named Henry from Louisiana, 78, who'd sit on his porch in New Orleans every evening, listening to the crickets. He'd say, "That's my symphony." And you could see the peace in his eyes. It's not about chasing big wins, it's about noticing what's already there. Maybe it's the taste of your favorite pie, the sound of rain on the roof, or a call from an old friend. Alice keeps a little journal of these moments, says it's like collecting happiness. Slowing down to enjoy these bits of life keeps you grounded. Alice doesn't rush through her days. She lingers over a good book or a chat with her grandson. Henry used to play his harmonica along with those crickets, made it a ritual. It's gratitude in action, and it fills your tank. You don't need much, just a minute to breathe and look around. Those tiny joys? They're what make your golden years golden. So, next time you catch a sunset or laugh at a silly TV ad, hold on to it. It's your secret to a full, happy heart. Let's circle back to keeping your mind sharp with new skills, because it's such a fun way to stay youthful. My friend Rose, 73, from Wisconsin, is a perfect example. She lives in a little town near Madison and decided last year to tackle something she'd never done, learning Spanish. She started with an app on her phone, fumbling through hola and gracias, and now she's chatting with her neighbor's granddaughter, who's from Mexico. Rose says it's not just about the words, it's the thrill of figuring something out and the doors it opens. She even joined a language club at the community center, and suddenly she's got a whole new crew to swap stories with. You don't have to pick a language though, there's so much out there. Maybe you've always wanted to bake bread from scratch or try your hand at photography. I heard about a guy named Bill from Idaho, 77, who got into woodworking after retiring. He started with a shaky birdhouse, laughed that it looked more like a squirrel trap, but now he's crafting rocking chairs for his porch. It's not about being a pro, it's the buzz you get from trying. Rose's Spanish isn't perfect, and Bill's first projects wobbled, but they kept at it. That's what counts, keeping your brain busy and your spirit curious. And the perks? Oh, they're real. Doctors say learning keeps your memory strong, like a workout for your mind. Plus, it's a blast to show off. Imagine your family's faces when you whip out a homemade loaf or a photo you snapped. Rose loves surprising her kids with a Spanish phrase, and Bill's grandkids beg to sit in his chairs. It's a win-win, you feel proud, and you stay connected. So pick something, anything, that sparks your interest. A class, a YouTube video, a book from the library. You're not just learning, you're living, and that's what keeps you young. Back to health for a sec, because it's too good not to double down on. My pal Martha, 74, from Virginia, has this down to an art. She's not running marathons, though she'd cheer you on if you did, but she's out in her Richmond garden every day, digging in the dirt. She says it's her happy place, pulling weeds and planting flowers, and it keeps her moving without feeling like exercise. She's also big on eating what she grows, fresh tomatoes, herbs, you name it. Martha swears it's why she's got energy to spare, and she's not wrong. Good food and a little motion go a long way. You can tweak this to fit you. Maybe it's a dance around your living room to some Elvis, gets your heart pumping and your smile wide. Or try a plate full of color, berries, spinach, a piece of salmon. I knew a lady named Elsie from Kansas, 81, who started swimming at her local Y. She'd never been much for pools, but after a few laps, she was hooked, said it made her feel light as a feather. It's not about rules, it's what feels right. Martha naps when she needs to, Elsie floats to relax. Throw in a puzzle or a quiet moment with a cup of tea, and you're golden. It's your health, your way, and when you enjoy it, you stick with it. Let's dive back into that social circle idea, because it's too good to skip over twice. My friend Jack, 75, from Montana, is the king of this. He lives out near Bozeman, and after his kids moved away, he didn't just sit around, he started a weekly poker night. It's not fancy, just him, some old pals, and a deck of cards in his garage. But you should see his face light up when they're all laughing over a bad bluff or swapping tales about the good old days. Jack says it's like medicine, he feels alive with those guys around. And he's onto something. Having people you love keeps your heart full and your worries light. You don't need a poker game to make it happen. Maybe it's a regular lunch with a friend at that diner you like, or joining a knitting group at the senior center. I met a woman named Pearl from Oklahoma, 78, who started going to her town's farmer's market every Saturday, not just for the veggies, but for the chats. She'd talk to the vendors, catch up with neighbors, and before long, she had a standing coffee date with a couple of them. It's not about forcing it, it's those little moments that build something real. Pearl says she used to feel lonely, but now she's got folks checking in on her, and she's the one bringing them cookies. The best part? It keeps you moving and sharp. Jack's poker nights get him out of his chair, and Pearl's market trips mean a good walk. Plus, you've got someone to share a laugh or a problem with. Makes everything easier. So, think about who's in your world. Call up an old friend, wave at the mailman, join a club. Jack's group grew from 3 to 8, and Pearl's coffee crew is her lifeline. It's not about numbers, it's the warmth they bring. You're never too old to make a buddy, and those ties? They're what keep your golden years shining. Now, embracing change again, because it's a biggie. My friend Vera, 71, from Utah, is a champ at this. She'd never been big on tech, but last year she got a smartphone after her grandkids begged her to text them. She lives in Salt Lake City, and at first she was all thumbs, sent me a garbled message once that said "Hello Fiend," instead of "Hello Friend." We laughed about it, but she didn't give up. Now she's sending photos of her hikes in the mountains, and even joined a Facebook group for birdwatchers. Vera says it's like a whole new world opened up, and she's loving every minute. Change doesn't have to be tech though. Maybe it's moving your chair to a sunnier spot or trying a new recipe, like Vera's recent stab at homemade salsa. I knew a guy named Carl from Iowa, 80, who switched from coffee to herbal tea after years of jitters. He grumbled at first, but now he's hooked on chamomile and sleeps like a baby. It's about staying open to new tools, new habits, new you. Vera's phone took her from "no way" to "why not?" And Carl's tea swap was a quiet win. Life's always shifting, and rolling with it keeps you in the game. So, what's one little change you could try? It might just surprise you how good it feels. Let's swing back to that sense of humor. It's too good to only mention once. My pal Irene, 73, from South Carolina, is a riot. She's down in Charleston, and she's got this way of turning anything into a laugh. The other day, she tripped over her cat and landed in a pile of laundry. Instead of grumbling, she called me up and said, "Guess I'm practicing for the Senior Olympics." That's Irene. She's always got a quip ready, whether it's a mix-up at the grocery store or a rainy day that sogs her shoes. Her family loves it. Her son says she's the glue that keeps them smiling. You don't have to be a comedian to get this going. Just find the funny in the everyday, like when you forget where you parked and joke it's a treasure hunt. I knew a guy named Walt from Indiana, 79, who'd tease his grandkids by pretending he couldn't hear them, then wink and hand out candy. It's light, it's easy, and it works wonders. Walt said it got him through losing his wife. He'd imagine her laughing at his goofy antics from above. Irene's the same. Her humor's a shield and a spark. Next time life throws a curveball, toss back a chuckle. It's like a reset button for your soul. And self-care. Let's wrap up strong with that. My friend Ellie, 70, from New Mexico, is my hero here. She's in Santa Fe, and she's turned looking after herself into an art. Every morning, she's got this ritual, rubbing on a bit of lotion with a smile, saying it's her Desert Skin Saver. She's not fancy, just uses what works, but she loves how it feels. And her hair? She's rocking this short, sassy cut that she swears makes her feel 10 years younger. Ellie says it's not vanity. It's about feeling good in her own skin, and that's what shines through. You can keep it simple, too. Maybe it's a splash of cool water on your face or trimming your nails so they're just right. I met a lady named Doris from Arkansas, 82, who started painting her nails bright red after years of playing. She'd giggle and say it's her rebel streak coming out. But it's more than looks. Ellie unwinds with a sketchbook, doodling whatever comes to mind, while Doris loves her porch swing with a glass of iced tea. It's your time, your piece. Carve it out, read a chapter, soak in a bath, plant a flower. When you feel cared for, you glow, and that's the real trick to staying youthful. So, there you have it, some easy, heartfelt ways to keep your golden years bright. I hope you'll give these a try. Maybe start with a new skill or a laugh at breakfast. Whatever you pick, make it yours, and watch how it lifts you up. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below, share your own tricks, anything. And if this sparks something for you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tips to live your best life. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I can't wait to catch you in the next video.